The sun hasn't yet risen fully, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. An endless expanse of desert stretches in all directions, cracked earth, sparse vegetation, and jagged rocks. The wind carries a lonely whistle. A lone cowboy, 50s, face weathered like leather, eyes that have seen both hardship and kindness, rides his horse slowly across the barren landscape. He wears a faded Stetson hat and a denim shirt with patches from years of wear. Behind him, a pack mule carries supplies from a recent trading expedition. Cowboy to himself, voice rough but gentle, getting close to home now, partner. Few more hours, and we'll be back to the ranch. Maybe Martha's got some of that apple pie baked. Been months since I had a decent slice. He pats his horse's neck affectionately. The horse whinnies softly in response. Cowboy, I know. You're tired too. But we're making good time, and the trail's been kind to us. He adjusts his position in the saddle, glancing at the horizon. The morning is peaceful but eerily quiet. Too quiet. As the cowboy rounds a bend, his horse suddenly slows, sensing something unusual. The cowboy's instincts kick in. He narrows his eyes, scanning the area ahead. Near a dried-up riverbed, barely visible against the dusty earth, lies a child, 8 years old, small frame, clearly malnourished. The child's skin has a grayish pallor, and their breathing is shallow. Tattered clothes hang from a body that's far too thin. The child appears to be unconscious or very close to death. Cowboy urgent, whoa, partner. Easy now. He dismounts quickly, his movements swift despite his age. The cowboy's expression shifts from fatigue to deep concern. He approaches the child cautiously, kneeling down carefully. Cowboy, soft voice, easy now, little one. I'm not going to hurt you. He places his weathered hand near the child's nose, feeling for breath. Relief washes over his face when he feels faint breathing. The child's eyes flutter open weakly, unfocused and confused. Child, barely audible, in native dialect, water. Cowboy, that's right, you need water. Hold on just a moment. The cowboy reaches into his saddlebag and pulls out his water canteen. He uncaps it carefully and brings it to the child's lips, letting just a small amount of water trickle in. Cowboy, small sips, now. Don't drink too fast, or it'll make you sick. That's it. Good. The child drinks a bit more, and some of the clarity returns to their eyes. The child looks up at the cowboy, fear evident in their face. Child, in broken English, terrified, you kill me? Cowboy, shaking his head firmly, no, son. No, I'm not going to kill you. My name is Samuel, but folks call me Sam. What's your name? The child hesitates, clearly still fearful, but desperate. Child, Dakota. I am Dakota. Cowboy, well, Dakota, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm going to help you, all right? You're starving, and you're weak. But you're going to be fine now. I promise you that. Sam carefully examines the child's condition. Dakota is wearing native clothing, a simple shirt and leggings, both worn and torn. His feet are bare and blistered. Cowboy, how long have you been out here, son? Dakota, voice weak and trembling, 3 days, maybe 4. I was hunting with my father. I got lost. The storm came. Cowboy, that must have been terrible. But you're a brave one, making it this long. Not many could do that. Sam reaches into his saddlebag and pulls out some dried beef and a piece of hardtack bread. He breaks the bread into smaller pieces. Cowboy, here, eat this slowly. Not too much at once. Your stomach's probably forgotten how to handle food. Dakota takes the food gratefully and eats slowly, tears streaming down his face. Whether from emotion or hunger, it's hard to tell. Cowboy, there now. You're going to be just fine. I'm taking you back to my ranch. We'll get you cleaned up, get some real food in you, and then we'll figure out how to get you back to your people. Sam's ranch is modest but well-maintained. A sturdy wooden house with a wide porch sits near a large, weathered barn. Fence posts stretch across the property, and a small corral contains a few horses grazing peacefully. Smoke curls from the chimney. Sam carefully lifts Dakota from the horse and carries him inside. The interior is simple but clean. A stone fireplace dominates one wall. There's a wooden table with chairs, a cast-iron stove, and shelves lined with supplies. Several photographs and a few religious items adorn the walls. Sam gently sets Dakota on a bed in a small room off the main area. The bed is covered with clean blankets. Cowboy, you just rest here a moment while I get some water heating up. Sam moves to the stove and begins filling a large pot with water from a pitcher. He sets it on the stove to heat. Cowboy, I've got some proper soup that should do you good, and some fresh bread from this morning. You just stay put. Sam busies himself preparing a bath in a large wooden tub, heating the water carefully. He brings Dakota some warm water to drink first, along with more food. Cowboy, here, son. Take your time with this. I want you to get that bath, and then you're going to sleep for as long as you need to. Over the next few hours, Sam tends to Dakota like a father would his own child. He helps the boy bathe, gives him clean clothes, a pair of the cowboy's trousers rolled up at the ankles and a shirt tied at the waist, and feeds him small portions of nourishing soup and bread. As evening falls, Dakota sits by the fireplace, wrapped in blankets, his belly full for the first time in days. His eyes are heavy with sleep. Dakota, quietly, with more strength in his voice, why you help me? I am not your people. Cowboy, sitting across from him, speaking thoughtfully. Well, Dakota, that's a good question. I suppose it's because a life is a life, no matter what color skin it's under or what language it speaks. When I see someone suffering, especially a child, I have to help them. That's just what's right in my heart. Dakota, my grandfather, he teaches me. He says a man is known by how he treats those who are different from him. Cowboy, your grandfather sounds like a wise man. He sounds like someone I'd like to meet. Dakota, he is the chief of our people. Chief stands tall. He is very strong and very good. Cowboy, I believe that. And I imagine he's very worried about you right now. Dakota, yawning, very worried. My father, too. I do not know where I am. I do not know if I can find my way home. Cowboy, don't you worry about that. Tomorrow we'll figure it out. For now, you sleep. You're safe here. You have my word. Sam helps Dakota onto a bed in the corner of the main room, right near the warm fireplace. He covers him with several blankets. Cowboy, softly, sleep now, son. Tomorrow's a new day. Dakota's eyes close, and he's asleep within moments, his breathing deep and peaceful for the first time in days. Sam sits by the fire, watching over the boy, occasionally adding wood to keep the flames alive through the night. The sky is just beginning to brighten. Birds sing their morning songs. It's a beautiful, peaceful morning, the kind that makes you grateful to be alive. Sam steps out of his house to begin his morning routine. He's carrying a bucket, intending to fetch water from the well. He stretches his back and looks out across his property. That's when he sees them. At first, it looks like the horizon itself is moving. Then the shape becomes clearer, riders. Lots of them. The sound of hoofbeats becomes audible, a deep, rhythmic thunder that grows louder with each passing second. Sam sets down his bucket slowly, his heart rate accelerating. He shields his eyes from the rising sun to get a better look. 200 warriors on horseback stretch across his property, lined up in perfect formation. They wear traditional clothing, leather, beads, and feathers. Each warrior sits tall and alert on their mount. Their faces are serious and determined. At the front, slightly ahead of the main formation, sits an older warrior chief, 60s, distinguished bearing, a face that commands respect despite the scars of age and battle, on a magnificent dark horse. Cowboy to himself, voice steady despite obvious concern, Lord Almighty. This is it. This is how it ends. Sam stands motionless, unarmed, facing the silent army before him. His mind races. He thinks of Dakota sleeping in his house. He understands immediately what this is about. The warrior chief raises his hand, and the formation comes to a complete halt. The dust they've kicked up settles slowly. The silence is deafening. The chief walks his horse forward alone, approaching Sam with a measured pace. Sam does not move. He plants his feet firmly, prepared to face whatever comes. The chief stops about 20 feet away. His dark eyes study Sam's face with an intensity that seems to see through skin and bone into the very soul. Warrior chief, voice deep and measured, speaking in clear English with a slight accent. You have something that belongs to us. Cowboy, speaking calmly, meeting the chief's gaze directly. If you're talking about the boy, Dakota. Yes, I do. Found him 3 days' journey from here, out on the trail near the old riverbed. He was starving and delirious. I brought him here to get some food and rest. He's inside, sleeping right now. He's going to be fine." The chief's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. "Warrior Chief, that child is my grandson. His father, my son, has been searching for him for 2 days, without sleep, without food. Our entire tribe has been searching. We thought him dead. Cowboy, well, he's alive, and he's going to stay that way. The boy's got his strength back. Just needed food and warmth and someone to care for him. That's all any of us need sometimes." Another long pause. The chief dismounts from his horse with surprising grace for a man of his age and walks towards Sam. 200 warriors watch this moment with perfect stillness. "Warrior Chief, you could have left him. You could have taken what he had, though the boy has nothing, and left him to die in the desert. No one would have known. No one would have cared. Cowboy, I would have known, and I would have cared, and I couldn't have lived with myself. A man's got to be able to look himself in the mirror when he wakes up in the morning." The chief stops directly in front of Sam. He's several inches shorter, but seems to command even more presence this close. "Warrior Chief, what's your name, white man?" "Cowboy Sam. Samuel Whitmore. Most folks just call me Sam." "Warrior Chief, I am Chief Stands Tall, and your name will be remembered among my people for what you have done this day." Stands Tall gestures, and Sam turns to see Dakota being brought out of the house by 2 of the ranch hands, who must have been gathering supplies nearby. The child is awake, and when he sees his grandfather, his face transforms with joy and relief. Dakota, shouting with joy, "Grandfather! Grandfather!" Dakota runs as fast as his still recovering body will allow. Chief Stands Tall catches him and lifts him into his arms, holding him tightly. For a long moment, the mighty chief is simply a grandfather, overcome with relief at finding his grandchild alive. Stands Tall sets Dakota down and looks back at Sam with new intensity. "Warrior Chief, come, Dakota. Tell me everything. How did you come to be here?" Dakota talks quickly, gesturing animatedly, explaining how he got lost and how Sam found him and cared for him. As the boy speaks, Stands Tall's expression softens from stern to something gentler. "Dakota and grandfather, Sam gave me warm clothes and hot food and let me sleep by the fire. He was kind. He was like father. He saved my life." Stands Tall places his hand on his grandson's shoulder and turns back to Sam. "Warrior Chief, in my people's way, there's a debt that cannot be repaid in gold or silver or horses. The debt of a life saved, especially the life of one's own blood. But more than that, Sam Whitmore, you risked your own life, not knowing what might happen. You showed mercy to a stranger. You showed honor when you could have shown indifference." The chief walks closer to Sam until they're nearly face to face. "Warrior Chief, among my people, a man who saves the life of another becomes as family. You are no longer a stranger. You are no longer an outsider. From this moment forward, you are one of us in spirit, if not in blood." Cowboy moved, struggling with emotion. "Chief, I don't know what to say. I'm honored. I truly am. But I did what any decent man would do." "Warrior Chief, that is exactly why you are truly honorable. Most men would not do what you have done. You have shown us that there is still goodness in this world, goodness that crosses the lines we have drawn between our peoples." Stands Tall raises his hand, and all 200 warriors simultaneously raise their hands in a gesture of peace and respect toward Sam. It's a powerful and moving moment. The chief reaches out and takes Sam's hand, placing it over his heart. Then he takes Sam's other hand and places it over his own heart. "Warrior Chief, you will always be welcome among my people, Sam Whitmore. You will always have protection. You will always have a place at our fires. If ever danger comes to you, send word, and we will stand with you as brothers." Cowboy, voice thick with emotion, "That's an honor, Chief. A real honor. I won't forget this. I won't forget you. Warrior Chief, and we will never forget you." Stands Tall turns to Dakota and takes his hand. The boy looks up at Sam one final time. "Dakota, thank you, Sam. Thank you for saving me. Cowboy, you take care of yourself, son. Listen to your grandfather. Learn from him. And remember, the world is full of both good and bad. Be the good when you can." Dakota nods solemnly, and then Stands Tall lifts him onto a horse. The chief mounts his own horse with practiced ease. Warrior Chief, raising his hand in farewell. Goodbye, Sam Whitmore. May the spirits watch over you always. Cowboy, raising his hand in return. May they watch over you too, Chief. Take care of that boy. Warrior Chief, with my life. Always. Stands tall, signals the warriors, and as one, they begin to turn their horses around. The 200 warriors move with perfect coordination, creating a massive wave of horses and riders. Sam watches as they ride off toward the rising sun. For several long moments, they're silhouetted against the golden sky, a sea of dark shapes against the brightness. The sound of hoofbeats gradually fades into the distance until there's nothing but the wind and the natural sounds of the morning. Finally, they disappear over a ridge in the landscape, and the desert is quiet once more. Sam stands alone in his yard. He looks down at his hands, the hands that fed a starving child. He looks back at his ranch, his small, simple, quiet home. Cowboy to himself, voice full of quiet satisfaction and peace. One less child hungry in this world. One less family broken by loss. One less reason for hatred between peoples. That's a good day's work, Sam. That's a mighty good day's work. He picks up the bucket he'd set down earlier and walks toward the well with a light step, a slight smile on his weathered face. Cowboy, the spirits are watching over me too, I reckon. I can feel it. As Sam goes about his daily routine, there's a lightness to his movements, a sense of purpose and rightness that goes beyond the simple completion of chores. The camera pulls back, showing the small ranch in the vast desert, the morning sun bringing everything into sharp relief.